Getting ready for the holiday? Well, lots might be happening at this time of the year. For some of us, this year may be a wonderful time for us to come together, gather with friends and family after so many months of isolation. The end of the year holiday may bring up many emotions. And after 2 strange years of the pandemic, there may be some anxiety present as the holiday season draws close. So let's talk about some ways to help you feel a little bit more grounded during this potentially exciting and or nervous time of the year. Hi, I'm Dora, Holistic Stress and Resilience Coach from Dora Chan Yoga. Welcome to my weekly Tuesday Connect, where we talk about various topics on how to achieve whole person wellness in body, mind, and soul. Now, as the year draws to a close, we tend to get a bit busy around this time of the year, right? Now, while it might be nice to catch up with friends and family, I know that this could also be a bit of a stressful time for some people. Having to organize perhaps family gatherings, knowing that kids are going to be out of school, like on their winter break, and some of us may be traveling to see other family, and perhaps even just the thought of seeing family may be anxiety provoking enough. So today I want to share with you a few simple tools and techniques that may help you to stay grounded and find more peace and calm during this busy time. Now, these techniques that I'll be sharing with you today, you may already be doing this. Maybe you're familiar with this, but I think that all of us can do with a good reminder, even if these are techniques that we know about. So the first one that I'm going to talk about is deep diaphragmatic breathing. And this is a really common tip or tool when it comes to managing stress. And I'm sure that you've probably heard people talk about this all the time. And this is because it really is so effective and simple. You don't need any tools. You can do it at any time, and people don't even know that you are doing this. And so for those of you who may be new to this technique, let's quickly revise this, or let me briefly explain to you what this is. Now, breathing is part of our life. Obviously, we don't breathe, we don't live. But the way that we breathe really can have an influence over our physiology. Our breath is one of the quickest way to soothe our nervous system, to help us to switch out of a more defensive state to a more calming state. Many of us may not be aware that the way we breathe may be affecting our nervous system. And knowing how to breathe properly is going to help us to switch into a more calming state. So the deep diaphragmatic breathing is actually really simple. All we're doing is we're breathing in through the nose. I'm going to take that breath deep down into the belly. Fill up the belly, and then as you exhale, allow that breath to come all the way back out. It can be out through the mouth or out through the nose. Now, of course, our breath, enters into our lungs and not really going all the way into the belly. But we want to imagine that's what's happening, that we're inhaling to fill up the belly, and then exhaling, feeling the belly relaxes. And maybe even at the end of the breath, you might give a very gentle or subtle squeeze of the belly to push the air out. Nothing forceful here. It doesn't have to be really long breaths. As you continue with the practice, your breath will gradually lengthen and expand. But at the beginning, it's really coming to a comfortable rhythm. So what naturally feels good for you to slowly fill up the belly. And then when the belly's full, just as naturally, nothing forceful, you're going to feel the body. You might initially feel the belly starts to relax and relax back towards the spine, but also you might imagine, are there any other areas of tension in the body that you can also imagine that you're exhaling out? And so this doesn't take very long, even just a few minutes, 3 to 5 minutes of deep diaphragmatic breathing or deep belly breathing can help to shift you out of this fight or flight mode, or from a state of, defensiveness into a state of more groundedness and calm. And all the while, you can be doing this anywhere, even if you're lining up at the grocery store, if you are, even in a family gathering, you can do this at any time. And it is really an effective way to help you to come back to self, come back to your body, and your breath is just such a simple and wonderful tool that you'll always have with you no matter where you go. So this is something that you can practice whether you're stressed or not, because the really cool thing is that the more you use these tools, when you do encounter challenges in your life, sometimes your body automatically helps you to come back to a state of groundedness. You might even notice that, oh, when I'm nervous, my breath kicks in, helps to calm me down, and you're not consciously having to bring up these tools. Eventually, these tools will come up for you. Now, the second thing that we can do is to do something physical or active with your body. And I'm not even talking about exercise here. I'm not saying go out for a run. I'm talking about just some movement breaks can be really helpful. When we are stressed, sometimes we can feel a little bit stagnant. Maybe we sit for long periods of time. Maybe we even forget that we had been inactive for a long stretch of time when we are busy and stressed out. So really taking some time to add some movement, some gentle movements, some stretches. Notice what areas in the body might be a bit tight or tense, right? And then apply some stretches to stretch out any parts of the body that may be holding tension. A lot of us can be around this neck and shoulders area. So even without getting out of your seat, just some really nice, gentle neck stretches, just taking some time. And you can be incorporating your breath here. That's the beauty with the breath, is that you can, integrate it with any other activity that you might be doing, right? And then self-massage can be so nice. Just give yourself a bit of a shoulder rub, take some time, some simple movements, gentle movements. And if you have been sitting for a long time, get up out of your seat, walk around. It can be just a really short, a stroll, like maybe just going downstairs to get a glass of water, coming back up. So it's not, movement doesn't have to be this huge thing that you have to do. Taking breaks throughout the day and adding movements throughout the day can be more beneficial than just doing one chunk of exercise and then being inactive the rest of the day. And if you do catch, one of my previous mini trainings, I think we do talk about movement as well. So whether or not you have already an exercise routine, regular movements throughout the day is going to, it continues to be important for your health. And so this can also help to release some of the stress that we carry, because stress, even though we have a lot of mental, emotional stresses at this in our lives, we carry this in our body as well. And you probably notice it when you are nervous, when you are upset or angry or frustrated or irritated. Notice next time, if you don't notice this yet, there are going to be areas of the body that automatically starts to tighten up. And sometimes we're so used to tensing up those parts of our bodies that we're not even aware that we're doing it anymore. And so when we start to add some more movements into our body, when we start to stretch out any areas that might be tight, it is, it all adds up to helping us to release some of the tension that we might be holding, whether it be mental, emotional, or physical. Now, the third thing that I want to talk about is inner resource. So for those of you who follow me or have or familiar with the meditation that I teach, which is I Rest Yoga Nidra meditation, I talk a lot about inner resource because this is so important for every single one of us, is to come to a place of safety within. This place of groundedness, centeredness, safety, security, that is already within us, that we can source from within ourselves, so that we're not looking for any external situations, circumstances, or people to help us to feel safe. That, how empowering it is for us to have this tool to come back to safety whenever we need, independent of the circumstances or people around us. And so let me just quickly perhaps give you an idea of how you might access this inner resource. And of course, the inner resource work, there's so much we can do around it. And I work with clients for, months and months just on the inner resource alone. But here, you can get a taste and already start practicing it right now. So for instance, if I were to just say to you, can you think of a place, a person, maybe a memory or an experience where you feel safe? And you can just give yourself a moment to bring this to mind. Is there a place, a person, a memory, an image, or anything else that bring out this sense of or this feeling of safety, security, or this feeling of groundedness, or even just a feeling of okayness, like I feel okay when I bring this image, person, situation, or memory, or whatever it is to mind, that evokes a feeling of comfort or safety or okayness. And then allow yourself to rest there for a while. Allow yourself to enjoy or be with these feelings of groundedness, safety, security. And then bring your attention to your body and see and sense, how does it feel in my body to feel safe, or to feel at ease, to feel calm or at peace? What physical sensations arise in my body as I think about being in this place of safety and security? And then you can slowly let go of the original image or memory, or whatever it was that brought you to this place of safety and security. And instead just stay with the physical sensations of the body. And at this point, maybe the breath might enter into the experience as well. That is your inner resource in a nutshell. So of course, it's not always accessible for us to access this place of inner safety or peace or okayness. It does take some practice for some of us. And so, I love to invite my clients to just continue to visit the inner resource throughout the day, every single day. It doesn't have to take a lot of your time. You might just give yourself a minute just to say, oh, let me see if I can touch into my inner resource. You might bring up that image that help you to feel these sensations of calmness, whatever else. So I've named a few words here: security, safety, groundedness, feeling at ease, at peace. But maybe your inner resource might bring up other feelings or sensations for you too. So explore that a little bit. How do I feel when I come to this place of calm and safety? And staying with that feeling and knowing that you can access this feeling whenever you want, though it might take practice. So that's a beautiful practice. And then, and the next point I wanted to talk about is to take short but frequent breaks for your body and mind. And, we touched on that with the movement breaks and with the inner resource as well. Taking some time just to feel into your inner resource, or even just take some time out just to breathe those deep belly breaths. Or you might combine the two, go out for a little stroll outside as you pay attention to your breath, as you touch into your inner resource. All of these things can, come together and can be a beautiful practice. And if you can be outside, taking a stroll outside, even better if you can be close to nature. All of these added benefits can come together and can be so helpful in helping us to find a place of ease and help us to balance or soothe our nervous system when we are stressed out. And, I cannot stress enough, taking short breaks, for your mind and body. Taking short breaks, frequent short breaks throughout the day, especially on your busiest days. The days when you think I'm too busy to do any of these practices, those are especially the days that you need to be taking those practices. These practices, because I am well aware that it might be hard for us to say, oh, I need to take an hour or even 30 minutes to do a practice. I can see how that could be an obstacle. But when I'm saying take 1 minute, take 3 to 5 deep breaths, you have time for these things. And these practices, as short as they may be, they are super, super effective if you can do them frequently throughout the day. So that you can definitely do. And the last thing that I'll leave you with here is having an open attitude. So, what I mean by this is that know that no matter how much time you put into planning, something will likely not go according to your plan. And know that is okay. When we hold too tightly onto our expectations, this in itself can be a source of stress and suffering. We are stressed out and suffer in the planning of, this thing. If we have our expectations held quite tightly, stress is going to be present when we're planning because we want it to be perfect, right? Stress is going to be present as we anticipate what may or may not go wrong. We're going to be stressed out even as things occur according to plan because we're looking out for all of the other things that could go wrong, or looking at how certain things are not perfect, even though things are going right. And then at the end, we're kind of left with this perhaps empty feeling of, oh, so I survived it. Nothing really went wrong, but there wasn't a joy in it either. So, holding on to our expectations too tightly can be a source of stress and suffering. And then, of course, especially so when things don't go as expected, we're going to be really perhaps disappointed and down about ourselves or situation or whatever it was that didn't go as planned. And we can hold on a lot of stress and emotions that go with that too. So our mindset can be hugely important in how stressed that we feel in, this holiday season, but of course in any situation. So, when I say don't hold on to expectations too tightly, it doesn't mean that we just don't care or don't plan. So yes, still go ahead, plan and organize as you need so that all the practical aspects are taken care of and so that things can move forward, because you do need a bit of planning and organization involved, right? But then once you have taken care of the practical side of things, notice how you're feeling. And as much as you can, see if you can let go of the outcome. You've done your best. It's out of your hands. Whatever happens, allow that to happen and see if you can cultivate an attitude such that no matter what happens, you know that it will be okay. And sometimes, you know, it is these little mistakes or little imperfections, or when things don't turn out exactly as planned, or you know, completely opposite as planned, that they actually open up new opportunities for us to connect with each other. It might help us to realize something significant about ourselves, or offer us valuable insights that we may never have had the chance to discover otherwise. When we're able to loosen up our grip on these expectations, a lot of the stress and anxiety dissolve, because the suffering that we feel is not so much about the situation itself, but it is about our inability to accept anything other than what we had expected or wanted. So I hope that this was helpful to you. If you have any questions, or if you'd like more support on how to manage your stress, don't hesitate to reach out. You can DM me, or you can book a free 30-minute consultation with me, and we can chat more about this. I'll drop the booking link in the comments below. So let me know your thoughts, your feelings, comments, or questions. Drop them all below. And if you enjoyed this mini training, make sure you follow me at Dora Chen Yoga. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And I also have a private Facebook group called DCY Community, Supporting Strong Women Heal from Stress Holistically, where I stream these trainings live, but I also share resources, tips, and tools, and special offers in that group. So I'll make sure I'll drop the link below in the comments as well. So thank you for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Take care now.